Hello everyone, this is Roland. Today I want to check back in. I've been gone for 3 weeks on vacation of sorts. I haven't made any videos, haven't written any blog posts, and I've been doing some research, some thinking, getting some fresh air, and writing a new book about eternal life. Today I want to talk about food. Food is at the heart of so many of our issues. And so we need to talk about it. People are having more and more issues that revolve around food. A lot of issues revolving around food. And there's a reason for it. It's because food has been an issue for the human race all the way back to the beginning. In the Garden of Eden, you will remember that Adam disobeyed God by eating the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. He disobeyed God. See, he could have lived in God's presence with God's approval and on an endless journey of discovering more and more about the Creator and his genius and his creativity. But alas, Adam was taken in by the temptation. The idea of doing it on his own, without God. So indeed, when you turn your back upon understanding, upon the inner light, upon intuition, upon common sense, upon what you know in your heart. See, that's where I'm speaking to you from right now. At this moment, I'm speaking to you from my intuition. Okay? And it is from my intuition where all my ideas come from, my insights, my realizations. Okay? They come from there. It's a wonderful thing. There's nothing I enjoy more than to realize something and then have it kind of in the back of my mind all day long. It's very, very beautiful. It gives me a deeper knowledge of myself and of people and of the way things are. And it's a gift from God. Okay? But Adam turned his back upon that simple way. That's called the way of faith. See? And instead he chose knowledge, raw knowledge without understanding. See, knowledge can have, I have knowledge, I'm using words now. Words, concepts, vocabulary, okay? I'm using them. But I'm using them to serve understanding or to awaken people to understanding. But if I were to use the words hypnotically, to try to get people caught up with the words, to be impressed by the words, or scared by the words, or react emotionally to the words, or react emotionally to me, or get caught up with me. If I was to do it that way, then the words would not be flowing from intuition. They'd be coming from my intellect. I'd be dredging them up from my intellect to use for a wrong purpose. Well, that's what Adam basically chose. Of course, he didn't know what he was getting into, so we don't want to be too hard on him. Because if you had been in Adam's shoes, you would have done the same thing. You would have made the same mistake. Okay? So we don't want to be too hard on Adam. But the point is, he fell away from eternal life. And instead, he fell into the life that leads to death. The life based upon knowledge, upon words. And the act of disobedience. See, it's one thing to have someone whisper some naughty idea to your mind. That's one thing. And then it's another thing to think about that idea and to kind of think about testing the possibilities. See, you see how you're stepping in deeper and deeper? That's another thing. But then it's another thing yet to go ahead and actually complete the action by doing the forbidden thing. See, that seals the deal right there. So when Adam actually ate of that tree of knowledge, then the deal was sealed. he became subject to that realm, the other realm, not the realm of understanding, but the realm but the realm that led him into thinking that he could be a big man with just knowledge. Okay? So food was involved. That's the whole point of this little talk here, is that food was involved in the fall. And they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So in every one of your personal falls, inherited, when you were a little child, your traumas, and as you get older, you'll find that food is involved. Either food preceded your fall to weaken your will. You know how the salesman takes the person out for a meal, buys him a meal first? See, if somebody's wooing someone else, if the recruiter is wooing you to go to play basketball at his school, the recruiter's school, or if a man is wooing a lady, okay, then takes her out for a meal. See, to weaken your will. See? That's why when you're at the airport, remember they used to have those people that would give you a flower? You take that flower, immediately, you notice when you take that flower, immediately you're not completely free anymore. You feel some kind of a obligation to listen to them or to give them money. See? So, anyway, when Adam ate that forbidden food, then his whole life changed. Then he became dependent on food. Dependent on food. He had to work by the sweat of his brow to eat, earn a living and eat. And it's a life that leads to death. Okay? Now what food does then, is, if you can see it was involved in lowering of consciousness when Adam partook of it. And it was an act of disobedience that sealed the deal. So today, what do? We eat to lower our awareness. We eat to celebrate our fallen existence. See, our fallen existence is nothing to be proud of. Okay? We're kind of a sneaky, deceitful bunch, we humans. Egotistical and prideful and judgmental, secretly judging other people. See, and selfish. That's the way we are. That's the way we're born. See, so this is not a judgment. It's simply a fact. Okay, but there has to be another way. There has to be a way of becoming upgraded, so you're not judgmental anymore. So you're not sneaky anymore. Okay, so you're not selfish anymore. There has to be a way of being upgraded. Okay, to return to the original state that Adam had, and then even better than that. Okay, and you somehow sense that that is possible. See, but you don't know how to. What I'm here is to try to give you some clues as to how to do that. So is it any wonder then that if food is involved in our fall, see, and if other people use food and food substances, food, drink, alcohol, party, celebration, marijuana, see, meds, cigarettes, they're all derivations of food. They're like food. There's something to ingest, something to put in your mouth, see, something to take in. So then if food is involved in the fall, food lowers our consciousness, our awareness, see, then you see how when that happens, then we could use food again to keep our conscience lower. See, the lower you fall, the more guilt you and the more anxiety you have for having fallen from what you could have been. See, the morning after the night before, you wake up and you're less than before. You've fallen a notch, okay? Usually you were somehow tricked or wooed, or see, you weren't told the whole story, or someone pulled the wool over your eyes, or they promised you something. They took advantage of your unhappiness or loneliness or whatever, see? But then you're always less for it. See? You're less for it. So what we do, some of us, is we resent all of the things of the world that we know will end up betraying us. We resent them, and then maybe we try to stay away from them. But we still pine for them anyway. See? Because our nature is based on a lie, and we pine for the lie. And we need the lie to take away the consciousness of what we have become. And when you don't know the protocol, when you don't know how to the way to become upgraded, then the only thing you have to look forward to is getting worse and worse. See, and falling lower and lower, and deteriorate, and then at the end of the line, people die. See, so not wanting to face that, that's another reason to get lost in food and substances. So then we misuse food for that reason. Okay. But when you were a little child, you didn't misuse food on purpose, but someone used food on you. Someone was willful. Maybe your mom was very willful. There was will in everything that she did, the food that she made, the way she cut it up for you, the way she forced it into your mouth. See, the way she made you eat even when you didn't want to. See? So it was forced on you, willfully. Maybe you rebelled. That made her angry. If you rejected her food, she didn't like that. So she forced it on you even more. When you accepted her food, then you accepted her will. See? Remember the Garden of Eden? You accept the flower in the airport from the person who gives you the flower. Then you're accepting their... You can even sense, after you take the flower, you feel a little bit of obligation. You've accepted their will. So now you see how it can be a great trauma for a child to have the food forced upon them. So, and then the other thing is that food represents mother's will. So when you eat her food, then you accept her will. Now if it turns out that mom hated your father, resented him, because he failed her, okay? Undoubtedly he did fail her. And undoubtedly he wasn't there for you either, but that's no excuse to hate it or resent it. Your mom was willful, so she probably tried to change him. But that didn't work. He became either wimpier, or he became angry, or she drove him off to another woman, or to the bottle, or to something, see? So she resented him, but then she wanted you to resent him too. She wanted you to side with her, see, against him. Something like that. So you see there's all these intrigues, and subtle agendas, and willfulness, and egotism and pride, see? Plus there's pride. Pride in this and pride in that, and pride in culture, which is also part of the food. Have you noticed? Different cultures have different food, that's the big thing, right? Food. Mexican food, Italian food, Japanese food, Chinese food. It's like it's some really big deal, which it's not. It's just food, you know. But it's like people make too much of it. They make too much of it. But it's another form of denial. See, if you can laud culture and praise culture and promote culture, well, then you can deny the fact that there's something wrong with people siding up against each other and all the different factions and groups that are fighting each other. There's something wrong about that. We're all supposed to be brothers and sisters. We're supposed to all be children of God, you see. Helping each other, not hurting each other. See? Loving each other, not resenting each other. But you see it even more in the family. Family, you see parents fighting, see, forcing the kids to choose sides, things like that. So you see all of this is involved in the food. So no wonder people have food problems. And then, remember we said there was deceit involved in the Garden of Eden? Deceit? Well, there's deceit now. When you go to the store and you buy the processed food and with all the different additives and chemicals and MSG and aspartame and genetically modified organisms and see different genetically modified oils and all kinds of, see, it's not even food, it's like chemicals. When you go there, it's deceitful. The box makes it look like it's nice, and they use words like healthy and natural and so on. But then when you read the small print, and they don't even tell you everything in the small print. Even what they tell you is bad enough. See? So it's the same. So you end up, see, not eating healthily from God's banquet. Instead, you're eating from man. The hand of man is involved in the food. Some kind of will, some kind of pride, some kind of secret agenda, some kind of, say, putting a profit before people type of a thing, see? So then you eat the food and there's something wrong with it. And people are having more and more issues. See? And it's not just food, it's anything that they force upon you, they put in you. Vaccines, see, the water, everything. There's something in everything. Something that's not supposed to be there is there, and then you end up having issues because of it. And it's so subtle and it's so everywhere that it's hard to put your finger on it. See, so you see how food is involved in all of this. Not only your own food issues, but what people do to you with food, and food substances, and substances, you know, to breathe in or take in somehow into the body. They're all kind of, you know, derivatives of food. So you have to begin to see what's been happening, why this. You have to begin to understand the mystery of it, and see how it happened in the Garden of Eden, and how it's still happening today. You can stand back from it and begin to sort out, see your own traumas, let go of your resentments, see, and be upgraded, get closer to God's light, begin to let go of or have, or without, or effortlessly. See, struggling doesn't help. See, if you've ever tried struggling with weight or struggling with addictions, you see how it just makes it worse. But there has to be a way of just letting it go. When you see clearly, you just let it go, or it lets you go. And one day you wake up, you just don't need that, whatever it was in the past that you were doing. See, and some things are so subtle you don't even know that it's hurting you. You don't even know that it's not right. You just don't know. That's why you need awareness. That's why you need understanding. That's why you need wisdom. That's why you need to get close to God's light. See, so you can begin to see the truth and see everything in light of the truth, and begin to have understanding and insight, and begin to know whether to say yes or no, and what to eat and what not to eat, and what's good for you and what's not good for you. Okay? My name is Roland.